Continue to stand with me as we look at the book of John chapter 14. John chapter 14, I'm reading from the Message, John chapter 14, verses 9 through 14. You've been with me all this time, Philip, and you still don't understand. To see me is to see the Father. So how can you ask, where is the Father? Don't you believe that I am in the Father, and the Father is in me? The words that I speak to you aren't mere words. I don't just make them up on my own. The Father who resides in me crafts each word into a divine act. Believe me, I am in my Father, and my Father is in me. If you can't believe that, believe what you see, these works. The person who trusts me will not only do what I'm doing, but even greater things. Please concentrate on that. The person who trusts me will not only do what I'm doing, but even greater things. Concentrate on that one more time. The person who trusts me will not only do what I'm doing, but even in greater things. Because I am on my way to the Father, am giving you the same work to do that I've been doing. I'm giving you the same work that I've been doing. You can count on it from now on. Whatever you request along the lines of who I am and what I am doing, I'll do it. Concentrate on that. Please concentrate on that. From now on, whatever you request along the lines of who I am and what I am doing, I'll do it. That's how the Father will be seen for who he is in the Son. I mean it, whatever you request in this way, I'll do. Turn to your neighbor and say, neighbor, the preacher's going to preach on. It's your turn. Say that one more time. It's your turn. You may be seated. I have been somewhat frustrated and perplexed about the church. And the reason why I have been perplexed about Faith Temple is because it appears that Faith Temple doesn't understand who and what Faith Temple is. Faith Temple doesn't seem to understand that Faith Temple is the future of the city of Dallas. I'm going to say that one more time. Faith Temple doesn't seem to understand that they are the future of the city of Dallas. Faith Temple has so much talent. And the question comes, why is it that the talent is not being used fully to edify and glorify God? Because if Faith Temple would do what Faith Temple has been anointed to do, we wouldn't have place to sit in this small, tiny building. But due to the isms, it appears as though the devil doesn't have to do anything to us. We are doing it to ourselves. Now, y'all don't want to talk to me. And I have been frustrated and perplexed as to why the church, Faith Temple, is still in the position that it finds itself in. When is the church body at whole going to love one another? Just when is the church body at whole going to quit worrying about my position? Just when is the church body at whole going to remember that my talent is not your talent? And I'm here because God brought me here. When will we learn how to talk to each other? When will we begin to see that there is something here that God wants to do, but he's being prevented from doing it because of what we are doing? Could it be that we have to be like the children of Israel, those who left Egypt, didn't get into the promised land? Y'all didn't hear what I said. There was only Joshua and Caleb who left Egypt and made it into the promised land. Are we playing church? Are we talking about this and that and that and this and that and this and that and this and that and that and this and this and that and everything but ministry? The church here at 825 West Pentagon, I say, is the future of the city of Dallas. And we are standing still. And so I've been frustrated, and I have been contemplating on what needs to be done here at this church. Is it me? Is it you? Who is it? Can I say that again? Is it me? Is it you? Who is it? Or is it the devil? Or is it whoever? Who is it? As I was thinking about life, because the church of God is supposed to be life. As I was thinking about life, parenting is a precious gift. Being a parent is a precious gift that God has given us, and yet parenting has its ups and its downs. Anybody in here know what I'm talking about? As I watched each of my children grow and walk across the stage of each level of graduation, which I call life's levels. You know, you have pre-K, you have kindergarten, you have junior high, you have senior high, and then you have college. The thought came to me, and I recall saying these words to each of my children, and I've said it to them conglomerately. Your mother and I have done all we can. Haven't y'all said that? To prepare you for life. Mother and daddy have given you all that we know. It's your turn. You must have courage, fortitude to make the right choices in your life. It's your turn. In the text, John is attempting at this point to no longer focus on the teachings miracles, words, or sayings of Christ. Saying like, Lazarus, come forth. Sayings like words, who touched me? Words like, the meek shall inherit the earth. Words like, it's your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Sayings like, Father, forgive them. They really don't know what they're doing. Words like, come here, Satan. Give me the keys of hell and of death. I am the resurrection and the life. I am the rose of Sharon. I am the lily of the valley. I am the word made flesh. But in this text, John begins to remind us who we are and whose we are. And so my question to Faith Temple this afternoon is, who do you really belong to? I'm gonna say it again. I'm not. I may get to the point of preaching, but is it all right if I talk? I mean, who do you really belong to? When they saw Jesus going up and he's saying goodbye, they hear and see angels. No one, isn't it interesting that no one gave the angels gave the names to these angels? And they said, ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Jesus, which you have seen going, will come in the same manner. And now John turns to the disciples and says in the text, listen to this, in the text, Jesus has given us everything that he did. Blind seeing, lame walking, even a dead man coming out of his grave. And then John makes this statement. Jesus, our leader, has shown you what he can do. But then he says, you shall do greater things than I have done. I have prepared the way. I have given you the power, so it's your turn. And my question to you, Faith Temple, it's our turn, but what are we doing? Just what are we doing? I'm sending you out to be disciples, and that's our problem. God never called you to be a member. Cash. Baby Cash caught that. Yeah, I'm going to say it one more time. God never called you to be a member of Faith Temple. He called you to be a disciple. And maybe that's our problem. We are members instead of disciples. Oh, y'all don't have to talk if you don't want to. I'm sending you out to be disciples of what I have shown you. You have the authority. Oh. We have the authority, but we are members, and we are not disciples. And because we are members and we are not disciples, that's why the church is the way it is. We are the extension of Christ's eternality. That ain't a word, but it is. We are the extension of Christ's eternality and the hope of glory, but we are members instead of disciples. Because watch this. The goal of recreating and duplicating me was not to create a social club or a clique. I don't like you, so I don't do the ministry which God gave me to do. But God says, I have given you the tools. I have placed you in a radical movement that would define what true worship and praise is all about. It ain't about raising holy hands and jumping and shouting. It's about discipleship. Jesus' goal coming to church was not to entertain you. How many of us have to come to church to be entertained? Who's preaching today? Who's singing today? But the goal was to energize disciples, to empower them, to enrich them, to bring you into a holistic, preach Pastor Cox now, into a holistic improvement of your own character so that you could really become a disciple instead of thinking that you're a member. Meaning, you're not just saved for yourself. I think I just say the word. You're not saved for yourself, but you are saved to impart as a vessel to save others. Which means, why aren't there visitors? Which means on Tuesday night, where's folk that you can study with or bring them to Bible class? Which means where are you on Sabbath school morning? I'm just trying. You are too self-absorbed, existing by yourself and for yourself. So then I ask the question again, what of Faith Temple? Are we so self-absorbed in ourselves and to ourselves and by ourselves that we cannot see and understand that a change needs to take place in our very own lives? I mean, think about it. How do we speak to each other? Just think about it. I mean, sometimes we just blip, 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 and don't think you're hurting somebody. How do we do this? I mean, how do we speak to even new members in the church? We so quick to critique and criticize until we run them away. And then we say, Pastor, bring them in, but where they at? They ain't here because you ran them away. I'm talking about being a disciple. Secondly, I'm trying to get through. Secondly, get this good. Jesus' teaching was not conservative. Jesus was radical. It was what we would call today out of the box. Who ever heard of telling a woman in Jesus' day caught in the very act of adultery, woman, where your accusers? Go and sin no more. The church says stone her. Are y'all in here? It appears the church is more consumer than kingdom building. We are more captivated in our faith than we are willing to stand up and used by God. That's why we're members instead of disciples. Which means, get this good, and this is the thing that got me. Which means that at some point in your life, you must stop actively thinking that you are praising God, and you must learn what your purpose is. And your purpose is not I, but Christ. I'm frustrated. We seem to do everything but impact lives in a larger magnitude. Too many of us are more concerned about God will do for us than what we, the church, should be doing. Are y'all in here? That's why evangelism is good sound, but it's really a lost art. Because the church feels the pastor ought to do it. So the church comes to see the entertainment that the pastor done put together. And then the church has the nerve to say, well, how many people being baptized? The question is, how many folk have you brought here to learn about the Word of God? That's discipleship, not membership. We do not have a passion that will drive us to become engaged disciples. Oh, yes. Watch this. We talk a good game. Oh, yeah, we can talk. We talk a good game about ministry. But I believe the proof is in the pudding. See, because at some time it is your season to serve. At some time it's your season to stand. It's your season to become engaged because the church is bigger than a location. The problem with following Jesus is he never tells you where he's going. Oh, y'all didn't get that. You'll catch it next week. See, that's our problem. See, the problem with following Jesus is he never tells you where he's going. You think I'm lying? Abraham, time to leave. Where we going, Lord? Just follow me. So he just started looking for a city that had foundations, whose builder and maker is God. And if you have a problem of micromanaging the details of your life, being a follower of Jesus is going to do nothing but frustrate you. Because you don't know where Jesus is going. He told you to follow him, and I will make you fishers of men, not fishers of a membership. See, here's our problem. When one follows Jesus, you are no longer on your own time. Jesus says that which defined me, that which I was called to do, that which gave me purpose, pain, I transfer all of this stuff to you. But here's the problem. Watch this, watch this, watch this, watch this. We preach the transfer in prosperity. We preach the transfer in grace and mercy. But the real transfer is that you will be lied on. You will be talked about. They will reject you, and sometimes you will cry for other folk when there's nothing going on wrong with you. The real transfer, you will be up while they are sleeping, and you will be sleeping while they are up. What makes you a real disciple? This is a member. A Christian at times is a casual tither that puts money in the envelope. But that's not good enough. You see, we got so many rules running around here that we don't seem to understand that every rule is important. Wait. What? Watch this. I can keep the Sabbath. I can pay faithful tithe. But I can talk about you. I'm still going to hell. Y'all ain't in here. See, I can keep the Sabbath. Get it good. I can keep the Sabbath. I can pay my tithe. But I don't do ministry that God has anointed me to do. I'm still going to hell. Y'all ain't in it. Y'all ain't caught it yet. I'm going to try this side over here. See, I'm going to try this side over here. Watch this. I can keep the Sabbath. I don't have to eat meat. I can be a vegan. Are y'all up in here? Y'all ain't up in here yet. I can be all of them, but yet won't talk to so-and-so and so-and-so, but I'm still going to hell. Let me try this. Can I try this side? Because this side ain't caught it yet. Let me try this side over here. I can pay my tithe. I can visit the sick folk. I can keep the Sabbath, but I can talk about them folk over there because their mama said something about them 52 years ago. I'm still going to hell. Are y'all in here? Y'all ain't up in here. You see, most of us have never, ever, 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 say never, ever. No, say never, ever. Say never, ever. Watch this. Most of us have never made a life or death decision as it relates to serving Jesus Christ. We have always lived in the guarded places of our lives. Watch this. We have been expecting Jesus to create an oasis for our lives. But what does one do when your oasis lands on the Isle of Patmos? I want to know, can you handle the external discomfort while maintaining internal peace? One must understand you made it this far because you told Jesus, whatever I have to go through, I'm going to do it because of your glory. That's discipleship. That ain't membership. Because when membership start having, I ain't coming back to church no more because somebody said something. That ain't discipleship. That's membership. I ain't doing nothing else. I'm going to just sit down. That ain't discipleship. That's membership. Ain't nobody called me. I've been sick all this time. Ain't nobody called me. And you ain't called nobody to tell him that you were sick. That ain't discipleship. That's membership. I don't like what he got on, what she got on. She up there singing for God. You sitting your behind down here. That's membership. That ain't discipleship. And we on our way, we think. We on our way to heaven. You're on your way to hell. Now you can call the conference and say it. I said hell. I don't give a. God says he wants disciples, not members. And the church of God got too many members and not enough disciples. We need disciples today. Can I preach a little bit longer? So here comes the question. What does Jesus suggest that we must do in order to work into greater works? See, greater works being the continuation, of his investment. Help me, Holy Ghost. Greater works means continuation of his investment. Now, how many of you got kids? Children? Now, some of us planned them. We got hot one night and one thing just happened, but you still love me anyhow. Am I right about it? Y'all talk to me. Am I right about it? I know I'm right. And when they came, what'd you do? You was happy. He looked just like me. Don't he look like me? Yeah, but watch this. As time went on, you begin to sacrifice, and you did without. Why did you do without? To make sure they got what they needed. Oh, help me, Holy Ghost. And you begin to invest. Because you said to yourself, I want to make sure my child gets to do what I didn't do. I want him to go. I want her to be what I couldn't be. I want to live my investment, my dreams in my child. Why is it? What Jesus is saying, he's saying, I have invested in you, and you are acting up, and you are not doing what you're supposed to do because you are so busy being a member and not a disciple. Too many of us look upon ministry as self-help coaching and life coaching than doctrinal nature. Y'all catch that next week. We are afraid to say that Jesus Christ is Lord. Watch this. Watch this. So here's what we do. When we have marital problems, we go to everybody. Are y'all up in here? We do everything. When we got a psychological or mental problem, we go to everybody but. Are y'all up in here? Can't nobody talk to me. When we have all kinds of problems, ignoring the fact that if Jesus is the center of our lives, and if Jesus is the center of our marriage, then everything is going to come out all right. Because watch this. Some of us have married some jokers. Then finally, just because I'm saved does not necessarily mean Jesus will fix all my problems. In fact, some of my problems became worse when I became most serious about loving the Lord. I'm doing this because I cannot deny who he is. Have you figured out who Jesus really is? It's evident you haven't. Because if you had figured out who Jesus is, you wouldn't be a member, you'd be a disciple. You hear sometimes, then other time, I don't see you. You mad at me? I don't care, get mad at me. I'm the one, I don't put you in heaven. There's people inside this church who I know can get a prayer through. I know they are prayer. Well, I know it. I call so-and-so and so-and-so, so-and-so and so-and-so. And the thing I like about when I call them, they don't tell nobody what I said. There's some people in this church that has a special anointing that the reason why you are not touched by them is because your stupidity self don't like them. And here again, you find yourself being a member and not a disciple. Jesus says, if you've seen me, y'all know, y'all read the text. If you've seen me, you've seen the what? That is the only way, church, we're going to do greater things. Then finally, one must buy into Jesus to such an extent until your own troubles cannot talk you out of saying Jesus is still Lord. Did y'all hear that? One must buy into Jesus to such an extent until your own trouble can't talk you out of it. Trouble like, why this sickness came on me? Trouble like, I done lost my son, my daughter, my husband, my wife. That's trouble. Are y'all up in here? That is trouble. And you still cling to God's promises. A church that ministers will never have a famine, even if it's a dry season. I get pastors calling me saying, how's your prayer meeting? Who's coming up at your prayer meeting? I get pastors saying, how many folk coming to church on Sabbath? I get pastors calling me saying, what's going on over here and over there? I say, I don't know. And they say, how come you don't know? I say, because that church ain't my problem. They ain't my, I say, that church is not my problem. I don't know. How do you spectate and critique God when you are the product and creation of the very thing that you are complaining about? I mean, how do you put your mouth on the transformational agency of your own experience? Then you turn around and let it decay because you don't tell somebody else what God has done for you. Are y'all in here? You know, we say, Jesus, I found Jesus when I was so and so and so. No. Jesus found you. Are y'all in here? Jesus found you. Finally, church, you must consistently cultivate an environment of prayer and study in your life. That's how you become a disciple instead of a member. In closing, play a little something for me. Just Faith Temple. Now I've pastored some churches that's had some great talent in it. This is a fact. I've been able, God has blessed me to bring people into the church. And I feel good when I go different places and people run up to me saying, Pastor, I'm still here. You know, that makes me feel good that my ministry has not been in vain. But this church is a special church. I mean, you are an incredible group of people. You are uniquely and wonderfully made. You have been strategically positioned in this place in time and space to minister to not only to the outside world, but to minister to yourselves. Did you hear what I just said? You've been planted and positioned for such a time as this. And there comes a time when we have to stop being members and become disciples.